Alright, back again. It took me a bit, but here I am. It's not really early February anymore, but you know what? Better late than never. So, I'll get straight to it. Originally, what I intended to do was a bigger video. I wanted to make one where I talk about multiple games, but I saw that that was not going to get finished on time, so instead I decided to focus on the most relevant one. And of course it's going to be the one you can read on the title. The Tomb Raider I-III Remastered. So, I'm not really the biggest fan of Tomb Raider, I'd say, but I have all the games on Steam, so I don't really know if I can really call myself a non-fan. My favorite Tomb Raider is definitely 2. Tomb Raider 2 is the first Tomb Raider I played, and it was the PS1 version, specifically Eidos Ricochet edition. It's actually my sister's copy. I don't own it. I possess it, but I don't own it. As for the other Tomb Raider games, I played Tomb Raider 1 on Steam. I never really owned another version of it. Tomb Raider 3 I also had in my childhood, as a PC version. I'm not sure if it was burnt or not. I do remember being at the beginning of Jungle, with that massive slide down and the spikes. And I think I also explored Lars home in that version as well, but not as much as 2. The other classic games I didn't really touch upon in my childhood, or even in the recent times. The only TR games that I've actually played are 1, 2, 3, a bit of Angel of Darkness, but I couldn't really get too far into that. And I've also played a bit of Anniversary and Tomb Raider 2013. I've also played a bit of the Lara Croft spin-offs, Guardian of Light and Temple of Osiris, but I haven't gotten really that much into either of those. As for these remasters, I missed the announcement because I don't watch Nintendo Direct. I found out the next day, on the 15th. They were announced on the 14th of September 2023, and I found out about it in a very strange way. I was looking up Tomb Raider 2 on Wikipedia, and I extended the release dates. There I saw every platform that's currently ongoing, including last gen, and 2024. It took me a bit, but then it clicked what it could be. So I went to YouTube and looked up Tomb Raider Remastered, and it also got auto-completed. So, yeah, that's how I found out. The Nintendo Direct announcement told me enough on what it would actually feature. The original 3 games, plus their expansions, and the option to toggle between the original and remastered look, which I think is nice. I think every remastered should really have this as an option. I'm glad that this one does. So, the fans have been very ecstatic, and some are mixed on this particular announcement, because for the longest time on this 5-month wait to release, this reveal trailer was pretty much the only thing we got. For some, it was even the impression that that was all they were gonna get, as if the reveal trailer was gonna be final. As far as I remember, for example, on the Spyro Reignited trilogy, the reveal trailer, wasn't like in April 2018, wasn't gonna be showing final footage, or final stuff on the actual release. For example, Nestor, the dragon on that reveal trailer, is actually reused as a different dragon in Dark Hollow now. I think I remember people complaining about that too back in the day. So yeah, not final footage by any means. And I don't want people to assume that's the case. They were going to be working on it still. And as we have seen lately, that was the case. I predicted that almost like with Alan Wake 2, which was releasing after this reveal, about a month before Alan Wake 2 actually released, they started going much more into advertising it on social medias and such. Like, they were posting pretty much non-stop on Alan Wake stuff. And even after launch, they're still posting every now and then, which, gives me the indication that it was going to be the same with this one. And guess what? About mid-January, they started posting about it again. And it got even heavier once we got to February. So much stuff was revealed. And one of the biggest factors in reveals was that PlayStation blog post with a lot of things revealed, especially on the features and such. Like, what did it show? There was the toggle between the original and the new graphics, of course. It showed photo mode. It showed boss health bars, which, I guess it's a novelty. Hopefully it's an option. Achievements, of course, and also touched upon the controls. So, in at least a Steam news post about the remasters on the original titles, or pretty much most of the TR titles, I think it was, it actually told you that there was going to be modern joystick controls as an option. We were not quite sure what that meant, but this blog post actually reveals more about that. These were actually now inspired by the Legend, Anniversary, and Underworld titles of Tomb Raider, as in the LAU trilogy, the first reboot by Crystal Dynamics. I have concerns about this, and I'll get to it when I do. Now, obviously, many people are stoked. Many people are concerned. There are some that want a physical copy. Nothing, as far as I know, has been confirmed about the physical copy, so it may not come on launch. Pretty unlikely, actually, at this point. And there's no telling whether or not there will be one after release, but we can hope, right? And of course, there's a lot of things also said about the release, like concerns with AI being used. I haven't found a definitive source for this, whether or not they confirmed that they are using AI. Like, there is a citation on Wikipedia about this, but I'm not sure whether or not it's actually, like, legitimate. So I can't really say how I feel about that. Like, sure, it might look a bit funny, and that could probably be AI, but we don't know if they're even gonna keep that in the end. Only time will tell. 3 days will tell. But yeah, as for my concerns with this remaster, I don't have too many to really go with, because so much stuff was already revealed that I'm not really left with many concerns about what might or might not be part of this. It has the original games and the expansions. It has quality of life improvements and features. It has modern control schemes and toggles between original graphics. It has a lot of accessibility options, I suppose, like indicators for actions and such. Those weren't part of the original games. It has language support for multiple languages, and I think this is the first time a Tomb Raider game actually is in Finnish, which is surprising because I was not expecting a Tomb Raider title to be in Finnish. None of the ones from before were, so this is a first. I'm definitely going to be trying it out on that and see whether or not they actually just, machine translated it, because machine translated Finnish is horrible. You can't make anything out of that. I really hope they get a proper translator for this. But with all that said, my biggest concern is actually this: the modern controls. I am actually not concerned in the sense that is it going to be good or anything, because I'm going to be using the tank controls regardless. For Tomb Raider, which was built with those controls in mind, I think I'm going to stick to these controls primarily. I might try out the modern controls to see what they're like, and if they're to my liking, I might use them as an alternative every now and then, and if they don't work well, I'll never touch them again. My problem is that they're inspired by the LAU trilogy, a very much more modern title than the classic Tomb Raiders. The problem here is, Lara's movement is tied to not only the geometry of the levels, it's also her animations. How does that work with modern controls? Like, if I think about this, for example, you have a running jump. It clears about 3 spaces of the geometry. If there's a gap of 2 spaces, you can jump over with a running jump, but you need at least 1 space's worth of running space before you can do the running jump. I don't see how that would work with the modern controls, at least precisely. In the classic controls, you walk to the edge, you hop back, you run forward with the jump held down, and then you'll jump at the very edge, and you'll do a running jump. Simple, but I don't see how this works with modern controls, so yeah. I guess I'll find out in 3 days whether or not that actually is a good thing. And that's about the only concern I really have. And again, not really one that breaks the game for me. So, yeah. Hopefully this release will be stable, works well. At least it's verified on Steam Deck, so that's a good sign. Hopefully it's actually, functional otherwise. And they can keep their promises. I'm really wondering how they handle the cutscenes and FMVs though, because those haven't been revealed as far as I know. It's gonna be strange, but I'm looking forward to it.